I just wanted to do a review for owning the Arrow Select shed after a year. So I bought the Arrow Select shed because it has a steeper roof, and I read a lot of reviews for the original Arrow shed that had the more shallow roof, where I guess in some areas where they get a lot of snow, they were saying that the roof would collapse. So I'm really happy to see that the roof did not collapse on my shed, and uh, and it's actually looking good. The only thing I started noticing is any components that were shipped here with a little scratch on the outside. Um, it's started to show a little brown, which means it's starting to rust a bit, which is bad, but like possibly here there's specks of brown, and I think that's rust starting to form, which is not good. But it was either, you know, calling them and getting a new piece and needing to wait for the install, or for the build of the shed. So I didn't want to wait, so I just went ahead and built it. So any parts that had any scratches on it are starting to show a bit of rust. Um, but other than that, the shed has been holding up really well with all the types of weather that we get here. I did order an anchor kit, so if you get the shed, make sure you order the anchor kit at the same time so that the wind doesn't blow your shed off of wherever you put it. Um, when we got this house, there was already a pad for where the shed would go. Um, with this shed, I got a slightly smaller one than the pad that it sits on. So I was able to, around three of the sides, uh, make it so that the shed uh, is is slightly over the edge of the pad. That way the water doesn't leak in. But on the front side, I couldn't do that because the shed is shorter than the pad. So in the front, water does seep through into the shed. So that's one downside. Um, and if you watched one of my other videos, you'll see I installed this Wiser Halo Touch. There's no batteries in there right now because during the winter the batteries would freeze. So I took the batteries out. So right now I'm just using a key entry, but it's very handy to have the fingerprint unlock there, because then you don't have to carry the key around with you. You always have the key, your fingerprint. So the bottom locks as well. And actually, without the bottom locking, the door sort of can be pulled open. Not really pulled open, but like the bottom part here can be pulled out. So it's not super secure if you don't lock this bottom one here. But we live in a pretty safe neighborhood, so no one's trying to break into our shed. Plus, there's not much in here anyways. Like, so because we're possibly gonna downsize soon, I emptied the shed, so there's only a lawnmower, a trimmer, and my bike, and maybe some garden tools that are left in the shed. But whoa, there's a wasp. All right, I'm just gonna open the doors so that there's more light. So inside the shed, condition-wise, it's pretty good. Or actually, it's really good. It's stay dry all season long. That was the door. These are the sides. No rust because it's been able to keep the rain out. And with even the extra screws that I put in on to hold the roof, I don't know what these are called, rafters, to hold these down. It hasn't leaked a single drop in here, so that's been really nice. Ooh, there's a wasp that keeps on flying in here. Yeah, and this shed is super spacious. It's a 14 by 10 shed. So the pad was made for a 14 by 15 shed, but for the Arrow Select I did not see an option for a 14 by 15 shed, so I just selected the biggest one I can get. And usually when rain leaks in, it leaks in from this corner over here, and then it seeps into about maybe here, and so all of that there would be wet up to maybe midway on the door. And so the best thing to do is, if you have those storage racks, you can stick one of the shelves or one or two of the shelves along on the cement, and that will keep your stuff dry. I had like 4 or 5 storage shelves in here before, and I just kept everything on the shelves, and that kept them dry and stored away. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend buying this shed if you have the space. And the only downside was the rust I showed you on the outside, and the doors are very light, so during on a windy day, you need to use something to hold them open if you want the doors kept open. Otherwise they'll keep banging on the walls, and they'll keep swinging back and forth. So that's one bad thing about the doors. I have rocks from the garden since we got that fence built a few years ago. A lot of big rocks were dug up, so I use the big rocks to hold the doors open when I'm needing to have the doors open. Yeah, so that's my review of the shed. It was a lot of work to get it together. Like, I believe it was like 3.5, 4 days, and there were certain parts of the build where you definitely need 2 people. So I was able to do a lot of it myself. See, these are the anchors that came with the anchor kit, and it took a if you don't have like, I have a battery powered hammer drill, and it took a lot of effort to get those in there. Plus it took a lot of charging and uncharging, as well as allowing your screwdriver to cool down. So be patient if you're putting in the anchor kit, because for me, another problem was this cement had like rocks that would appear underneath the drill bit, and it would take a really long time to get around them. So you just have to like wiggle the screwdriver and try to get it to go around the rock and bring the rock up, or loosen the rock. So Yeah, it was my first time doing something like that, anchoring and drilling into cement, so. But the anchor kit worked very well. The shed has not shifted since I got it in, and it was actually shifting when I didn't have it in. I was using bricks, and I leaned the bricks onto this frame just to try help it not to shift when the wind was blowing. So if you're putting it on a cement pad like this, you definitely need the anchor kit. Otherwise your shed might slip right off of the pad. And that happened on the rear part of the pad. I mean, yeah, rear part of the shed. It shifted that way because the wind was blowing, and it nearly slipped off of the pad, and I had to go out and kind of give it a shoulder check to get it to shift back. And that's bad too, because then you're not sure if everything is aligned properly. Yeah, so that's the Arrow Select shed. I ordered it from Rona online. I believe it was Rona, or it's either Rona or Lowe's. I think it was Rona though. But it sells in other places like Amazon and yeah, I'm not sure where else, but those were the three places I seen the shed sell. Yeah, so if you're worried about snow, this shed would definitely be a good choice because of the steeper roof, and it has these three supports here. I'm not sure how many supports the original one had, but this one seems to be able to withstand the load of snow in this area. I live in southwestern Ontario, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video and my feedback. If you're interested in installing a Wiser touch lock or any similar lock, you can watch my video where I sort of walk you through some of the steps I took to get this lock on here. I definitely recommend this touch lock. It makes it really handy to not have to carry the key around with you. Okay, thanks for watching, and please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Yep, have a great day. Bye.